Do you have to be a member to be able to access all this wonderful documentation, or is it, freely published on the
It's
website? How does
freely
somebody?
published. Yep,
Okay.
that's really sort of what we're trying to do. Is trying to improve interoperability in the industry, and you can't do it by gatekeeping your content.
Yeah.
You can't put it behind a
Yeah.
paywall. So
Yeah.
everything that gets ratified by the membership, so it goes through a
Yeah.
ratification process, we publish openly on the website.
Yeah.
Um, and then again, everything that's not ratified yet, that is members only. So members get to see
Yeah.
drafts,
Sure.
they get to work on drafts. And again, like our software, we have a pretty large repo base that the members are working on, but there's one that's a public repo. That's the Common Media Library, which is an attempt to solve some of the player code base fragmentation.
Mm.
Um, and it allows, we allow anybody to come and participate. They just have to join the repo, agree to the DCO, and then there they go. And it's
Amazing.
managed by somebody at Paramount,
Yeah.
Casey. And so, people say like, hey, I really want to, I want to be a committer. Like I want to play that role. Then they just reach out to Casey and, they work it out. And so it's a really, really cool project that we were allowed or enabled to make happen this past year as a public repo, which is super
Yeah.
exciting for me. We've got lots more coming. So there's
Yeah.
2025 is going to be a lot of software.
Yeah, amazing. And I just want to make sure that for those who weren't that familiar with the mission of the SVTA and what exactly you guys do, I'm gonna paraphrase. So if I get it wrong, or if you want to put an exclamation mark behind anything, feel free to jump in. But what is so special and unique and I think valuable, in my view, to the SVTA compared to all of the other different bodies, and every group performs its own functions, so it's not that but what's very special is that the industry right now, I would argue always, is clamoring for like best practices, dare I even say like SOPs,
Oh, no,
which
no,
is
100%.
goes way back. But I mean, this is, Jason, you get to work with all these 130 plus member companies. You've been in the industry a long time. I've been around a long time, and you know, um, yes, there's amazing people doing work in the largest streaming platform companies in the world, all the way down to the smallest. But even if you're in the largest and you've got this massive team, and everybody's a true expert in their respective areas, you can't know everything, you
Correct.
know and I'm always, I don't say surprised, because it stands to reason that I'll engage with somebody from some major well-known platform and find out, wow, they're looking for answers in some cases, just like a much smaller company is,
Yep.
and again, not because, oh, these people don't, don't, quote unquote, it drives me nuts when I read these comments on LinkedIn that sort of insinuate that company X or company Y doesn't know what they're doing. It's like, anyway, we could go down a whole nother rabbit trail on that one. But I think the SVTA is a incredibly valuable resource that more of the industry should avail themselves to. So
No, absolutely. I mean, we
that's
sit in the
my
middle of the industry, right? We cover the streaming workflow, which is
yeah,
basically once content hits origin,
yeah,
everything from origin to playback and analytics. That's all what we cover.
yeah.
And, we are a forum for collaboration. Our working groups are all bottoms up. They decide on the
Hmm.
projects they want to work on. So
Hmm.
anybody can come in and raise their hand and say, hey, I've got this problem. Like we saw this, and you'd be surprised. 10 people in the room would be like, oh, yeah, oh my God, we had that problem too. Hey, should
Exactly.
we try to solve this with some best
Yeah,
practices or some
yeah,
guidelines?
yeah,
We
yeah.
even launched a streaming video operations group, which is
Mm,
focused on operations. Like, so Mark Ison at ITV he was
yeah,
like, hey, can I get a place where we can just talk about operations and operating streaming platforms and like experiences with vendor
yeah,
technology and
yeah,
can we improve? So yes, what we want to be is a place in the middle where people can come and work together with their colleagues across companies, so even alongside competitors, to try
yeah.
to solve the interoperability issues that make the streaming tech stack kind of messy.
Yeah.
It's not like TV. It's not like broadcast. It's not based on standards. It's
Hmm.
hard to hot swap stuff when you want to
Hmm.
switch tech. And so here's a chance to come to an organization and work with people to try to fix that problem.